Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking all 60 Misfits in DAZN X Series fighters ranked. So if you don't know what Misfits X and DAZN X Series is, it's basically a bunch of influencers in the boxing area. So yeah, we've had like 6 of these events and we have 60 fighters. So I'm just gonna, talk about them, and yeah. Starting off at number 60, we have GODSON. Now, GODSON fought Tempo Arts, and for me, I don't think GODSON was that great. He literally got out of the fight on the first round. He was like, I quit, I can't do it anymore. And, yeah, he, for me, didn't really show much skill in the fight. He wasn't that, that great for me personally. He wasn't really, one of the best fighters, and probably not the best fighter for me on Misfits, but who knows, he could be better. And then for 59, we have Keely. Now, Keely fought ASTRID WETT. So it was ASTRID WETT versus Keely on Misfits in DAZN X Series 002. Yeah, Keely really wasn't that great, to be honest. Another one that backed out on the first round and said that I quit. Yeah, but for me, 59 is Keely. 58 for me is I Am Thompson. He lost. So he's 0 win, 1 loss, 0 draw against Sam Hyde. And this was on Misfits in DAZN X Series 001. So this was the first event. He did show some power, I'll give him that. He did show power, but he did get a little bit overlapped by Sam Hyde. 57 for me is Evil Hero. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Dean the Great, and Dean the Great's way higher on my list, and this was for Misfits in DAZN X Series 001. Evil Hero, he showed a little bit, but it was really nothing. It was just a little bit of slappy shots. Not really powerful shots for me personally that I saw. And yeah, 56 is Knick Knack Paddywhack or Nick Joseph. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, 0 draw. He fought Minicon. At least he went most of the rounds. I don't know if he went all the rounds, but he went most of the rounds, so I have to give him that. Yeah. He wasn't really that skilled. I mean, this was his first fight, so, I mean, what do you expect? But, yeah, not really one of my favorites. 55 is Faith ORDWAY. 0 loss, 1 draw, 0 win, 1 loss, 0 draw. She fought Brooke, and Brooke dominated her. I think it lasted like 1 or 2 rounds, and this was on Misfits in DAZN X Series 004 in January this year. Yeah, at least Faith ORDWAY actually threw some punches and landed some good ones on Brooke, but that's basically about it. 54 for me is Anthony Vargas. Vargas is how you say it. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draw. He was on the tag team match where he was with Ice Poseidon, and then they fought Luis Alcaraz Pineda and B-Dave. But yeah, his Anthony and Ice Poseidon lost that. But it was on Misfits in DAZN X Series 005. But yeah, he wasn't really that great. He threw some decent shots, but that was basically about it. 53 for me is Fangs. 0 win, 1 loss, and 0 draw. She fought Elena Vampiro. This was on Misfits in DAZN X Series 006. Yeah, Fangs did show that she can punch some good shots, but it wasn't really anything special. It was, yeah, I forgot how long this fight lasted, but it could have been better. 52 is a DTG. 0 loss, 0 win, 1 loss, 0 draw. He fought Halal Ham on Misfits in DAZN X Series 002. Yeah, DTG, he went all 3 rounds with him. All 4, 3, I forgot how many rounds it was. But he went all rounds with Ham. He did throw some good shots, so I'll give him that. So I will give him that, but yeah, not really one of the best fighters though. 51, Andy Warski, 0 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws. He fought Sol Papi, and he lost in 30 seconds. He kind of got knocked down in 30 seconds off the first round. So there wasn't really much to show from Andy Warski. The reason why it's up here is because of that beautiful knockout from Sol Papi. But yeah, that's basically about it. 50 is Stevie Knight. He has 1 win, 0 draw, and 0 loss. He fought Chase DEMOOR, and he won, sort of. It was a disqualification from Chase's side because he punched Stevie while he was down, like literally on the ground, which, not good. But yeah, he won that. But I would say he did throw some good punches. He is a big man, so I'll give him that. 49, we have Elena Vampiro. She has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draw. She fought Fangs. And yeah, she really has some good power, I have to say. She does have some good power. Now, this is her first fight, and I would love to see her back in the ring because she knows how to fight. She knows how to throw some good punches. Elena Vampiro, very good. I mean, she has fought before, but I'm only counting the Misfits events. I'm not counting, like, the other offside events. Only Misfits. So this was her first fight, but she did fight before. A lot, and same with a lot of these fighters. But yeah, 49 for me is Elena Vampiro. 48 for me is Overflow. He has 0 win, 1 loss, and 0 draw. He fought FaZe Temper, and he got knocked out by, like, the first punch, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this was on Misfits in DAZN X Series 003. Yeah, I mean, he does have some balls to step into the ring with FaZe Temper, so you got it there. But to be honest, he really didn't show much. He wasn't really powerful. His punches didn't really work. They weren't really powerful. I mean, I don't even know if he threw any. 47 for me is DK Money. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draw. He fought King Kenny, which he got the balls to step in the ring with King Kenny, so you have to give him there. He threw some good punches, I've got to say. But King Kenny did win that fight. It was on Misfits in DAZN X Series 003. And DK Money is back on 007, which is coming up in May, so respect to him. But yeah, I think he threw some good punches, but that's about it. 46 is Chidley's. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. Chidley's is just a crack up. He fought Jay Swingler. He lost in the first round, but in Misfits in DAZN X Series 002, but God, he was funny. And he did throw a good punch, I have to say. 45 for me is AJ Bunker. She has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. She fought ASTRID WETT for the Misfits Flyweight Championship belt in Misfits in DAZN X Series 005. She lost that, but the fight was really good, so I have to give her that. Her punches really worked well during the fight, so I have to give her that. But as her as a fighter, I'd like to see her back, definitely. I would like to see all these fighters back because they do have potential to be good, like Swarms. He was terrible against KSI, and now he's fighting Digi in May, so you got that. But yeah, AJ Bunker, I think for me, she's decent. No, she's alright. 44, we have Yachty Gang TV, 1 loss, 0 draws, 0 wins. He fought Uncle Pizza. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that fight was probably the most boring fight out of the card. There weren't really great punches thrown. There were some good punches, but they weren't, like, great power punches for me personally. But, yeah, yet again, TV. I mean, he had balls to step into the ring. All these boxers have the balls to step into the ring. Like, you have to give them respect for that. I'm not ranking them on, like, oh, they're bad, they're terrible. No. They at least got balls to step into the ring, so he got that. But yeah, number 44 is Yadi Gang TV. Yadi Gang TV. 43 for me is Fuzi. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Digi on Misfits in DAZN X Series 001. And to be honest, I think Fuzi showed really good heart during this fight. He was a warrior during this fight until his team kind of threw in the towel to say that it was done. But yeah, one of the best fights in Misfits, to be generally honest with, because both these guys showed heart. And yeah, Fuzi, even though that is low, he showed heart, which is good. 42 for me, it's Uncle Pizza. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Yadi Gang TV. To be honest, I mean, he did win it, but there were just... He's an okay fighter. I wouldn't say he's one of the best fighters. Well, it's not, because he's 42 on the list. But at least he got balls to step into the ring, like all these fighters, like I've been saying. Uncle Pizza really could have showed some potential. Unfortunately, he was just a comedic relief for the card, to be generally honest with. But he's 42 for me, so give him respect for that. 41 for me is Tempo Arts. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draws. Tempo Arts, he is good. He is a good fighter. I'll give him that. He is a good fighter. He got rid of Godson in the first round. So I've given respect for that. Yeah, like I said, he fought Godson. And he absolutely dominated that fight, which I'm very excited to see him back in the ring because he is a good fighter. 40 for me is Ginty. He had 2 fights under his belt. He fought JMX, and then he fought Halal Ham. And the JMX versus Ginty was probably the best fight that he had, because Ginty and Halal Ham was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in the card. I'm unfortunately sorry with that, but yeah, Ginty, he knows how to throw some good punches. He is a good fighter, but I'm not really a huge fan of this fighter, to be generally honest with. He's not really that great. 39 for me, Sam Hyde. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Ian Thompson. He won it on like the 3rd or 4th round. I forgot how many rounds he was. But they were big men, big heavyweights. This was on the Misfits 001 card. So Sam Hyde did throw some good punches. He is a good fighter. I'm very excited to see him back in the ring. I don't know when that's going to be. Hopefully it's soon, maybe. I don't know. 38 for me is Ice Poseidon. Yeah, people are probably wondering, why is he so high? For me, I like him as a fighter. Probably because of his comedic relief. I'm not doing this because of how many losses and wins and if he's good or not. I'm just doing it because of how enjoyable I like them on the card and if they have good opponents. But he fought Brendan Buckingham and lost that. And then he fought in the tag team match with Anthony Vargas and fought and lost that. But yeah, Ice Poseidon, he's a fighter. 37, Brendan Buckingham. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draws. He's a good fighter. I really like Brendan Buckingham. He is a good fighter, and yeah, definitely a fighter that I would love to see back in the ring. I heard that he wants to fight Sneeko, which I would love that fight, because Brendan Buckingham would annihilate Sneeko. But yeah, Brendan Buckingham fought Ice Poseidon, and he won it, so congratulations on that. And that was on Misfits 003. And yeah, he showed some heart. He was a good fighter. He had Sam Hyde in his corner, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, 37 for me. 36 for me is Kimbo Slice Jr. He has 1 loss, 0 wins, 0 draws. He fought OJ Rose. I'm gonna be honest, Kimbo Slice Jr. did show some heart during the fight. He showed some heart, but he wasn't really that great in the fight. I would love to see him back. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see Kimbo Slice Jr. back. If you don't know who Kimbo Slice Jr., he is the son of Kimbo Slice, who was a MMA fighter. Well, both these guys are MMA fighters. But yeah, I liked Kimbo Slice Jr., but I don't think he's a good fighter. But even though that I said he wasn't that great, but compared to OJ Rose, he wasn't that great. But he does have potential. 35 for me is Greg Hardy. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draws. I really think I should have pushed this guy up more, because he fought a very good fighter of Hasim Rahman Jr., which is way higher on the list. But Greg Hardy really showed heart during this fight and won it. But he's like 320 pounds or something like that. I don't know how much that is in kgs, but it's a lot. And yeah, Greg Hardy was a beast. And yeah, he threw some good punches. Yeah. 34 for me is A-Pup or Stamor Mitchell. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Waleed Sharks and lost it by a knockout because Waleed Sharks knocked him out in the second round. I'm pretty sure it was. And yeah, he showed some heart. Really went through the fight with some good punches from Waleed. So I have to give him respect for that. 33 for me is OJ Rose. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draw. He fought Kimbo Slice Jr. and won it. And yeah, it's a good fight. OJ Rose really showed some good power to him. He has some good shots with his left hook and his uppercut. Really good. And yeah, really liked OJ Rose in this fight. And I'm very excited to see him back, if he comes back. 32 for me is Chase DEMOOR. Yeah, Chase DEMOOR is my number 2. So he's 0 wins, 2 losses, and 0 draws. Just probably because of his comedic relief as well. But he fought Josh Bruckner and lost it very badly. And then he fought Stevie Knight and he lost that because of disqualification, which is not good. Chase DEMOOR, just because of how comedic he is in this whole route of misfits, he really did something bad with the disqualification, punching Stevie Knight while he was on the ground very badly. Very bad. Not good. He'll probably get, I think he is getting a warning. So not a warning, like a, what do you call it? He's probably not going to be boxing for a few months, or I don't know how long. But yeah, not good. 31 for me is Halal Ham. He has 1 win, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He fought DTG, and then he fought Ginty. I think his Halal Ham versus DTG was better than Ginty versus Halal Ham. But anyway, I think Halal Ham is a good fighter. He really showed heart during DTG. Really disappointed about that Ginty fight, but he did show some heart during that fight. But he can be better. I wish he can be better, but yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I wish he can improve on what he did on versus Ginty, but yeah. 30 for me, we have Swarms. He has 1 win, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He fought, of course, KSI on, his return, and then he fought Ryan Taylor. Now, he lost against KSI, because KSI is a beast, and then won against Ryan Taylor of 1 punch. Yeah. Swarms does have heart. He is a good fighter. I'm very excited to see his fight against DG, because I would love to see how that fight goes. And yeah, everyone's very underestimating Swarms. Just because he fought a very powerful man of KSI doesn't mean he's a bad fighter. No, he's a good fighter. And I'm really excited to see him back. he's lost all of his fat. Now he has like a 6-pack. It's awesome. On how, you know, he's really, yeah. But no, Swans really showed heart during this fight. And yeah, a very good fighter to me, to be genuinely honest with. And number 29 for me is Puliarov. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Dean the Great on Misfits in DAZN X Series 005, and I think that fight was really good. Well, great. Puliarov really showed skill during the fight, and definitely worthy of a Dean opponent. And yeah, this was for the Misfits Lightweight Championship, which Dean now, well, has had since, when was it? I think it was Evil Hero. So yeah, Puliarov, a really good fighter, to be genuinely honest with. He is a very good fighter. And I'm very excited to see him back in the ring. Hopefully he gets back in the ring, because he really has potential on being one of the best. Number 28 for me, we have Jake the Viking. He has 0 wins, 0 draws, and 1 loss. Sorry, 0 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. So he fought Jake. So he has 1 draw, and he fought Minicon. And that fight was the first draw since KSI versus Logan Paul 1. Now, I think Jake the Viking is a beast. Going for a draw, which is really unlikely, but Jake the Viking, very surprised. I thought he was going to win, but it was his draw, so I'll give half a point. But Jake the Viking really showed power, and yeah, very excited to see. I think that rematch is going to be in the works, but very excited to see if that rematch is going to happen, because I would love that. Number 27, we have Minicon. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 1 draw. His first opponent was Nick Paddywhack, or Nick Joseph, and he won that. And then he fought Jake the Viking, and he had a draw. I think Minicon is a very good fighter. He does have power through his shots. He is a beast. And yeah, one of the best fighters that I've seen in the scene, for me personally, and I absolutely love Minicon. He is a power hitter. Number 26 for me, we have ASTRID WETT. She has 2 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. She fought Keeley and won that very easily, and then she fought AJ Bunker, and it was a very good challenge for her for the Misfits Flyweight Championship. And yeah, ASTRID WETT, I think she is a very good fighter. She's a very good fighter. All we need to see is ASTRID WETT versus BROOKE, and we'll be fine. That's it. But ASTRID WETT or BROOKE, one of them is not trying to take it, which, not good. But ASTRID WETT, I think she's a powerful fighter. She's hard, and she has, power, like I said. She is one of the best female fighters. Yeah, that's it. She's one of the best female fighters. But for me, not the best. Wait, not the best female fighter, because there's one above her. 25 for me, we have Ryan Taylor. He has 0 wins, 2 losses, and 0 draws. He fought Slim, which was probably one of the best fights on Misfits. And then he fought Swarms. Now, Ryan Taylor, his chin is powerful. His chin is powerful. He has so much heart. He had so much heart during the Slim fight. He was a beast during that Slim fight. And then that Swarms fight, well, he didn't really show much, because he got out very easily. But Ryan Taylor, he's a very, very good fighter. And yeah, a very tough competition for actually Slim. I think it was a very tough competition for him. But Slim did win, which, good on him. And yeah. Number 24, we have Nick Alameo. Now he has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draw. He fought Jay Swingler, and that fight went all the rounds. And Nick Alameo is a beast. He is a great fighter. He is a fighter. I can tell by the shots he threw, he should have won that fight. For me personally, he should have won that fight, but he is one to keep an eye on the scene. 23 for me is Jay Swingler. He has 2 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. He fought Churdleys and won that very easily, and then he fought Nick Alameo, and that was a very tough fight for him, but he won that. Jay Swingler, he is a very good fighter, and he does show some good punches through his fights, and yeah, one of the best fighters, I have to say, one of the best fighters. I'm very excited to see him back in the ring, which I don't know when that's going to be, but hopefully it's against another big fighter. And yeah, it was kind of sad that people threw shade at Nick Alameo when he should have won that fight, because everyone's like, oh, why is Jay Swingler fighting a bum? Well, look where he is now. 22 for me is Josh Bruckner. He has 1 win, 1 loss, and 0 draw. He fought Chase DeMoor, won that very easily. Then he fought Salt Papi, and he lost that. And yeah, I think Josh Bruckner is a very good fighter. Now he fought Salt Papi. Does not mean that he's lost, that he is a bad fighter. No, he is a very good fighter. He fought Chase DeMoor, which was probably way bigger than him, and he won that. But yeah, Josh Bruckner is a very good fighter and a very tough challenge for people. So yeah, definitely a good fighter. 21 for me, we have DG. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Fuzi and won that. And I think DG is a very good fighter now. After his loss against, well, we're not talking about, other boxing events, but we will talk about his. So he lost against Jake Paul, then lost against Vinny Hacker, then lost against Alex Wasabi. Digi now, since he's with Daily Perales, who is King Kenny's coach / brother, he's now a beast. Digi is a very good fighter now, which I'm very happy with, that he went to the right state of mind and really showed heart, because with his other fights, he really didn't care much about them. But now, he is a very good fighter, and I'm very happy to see him fight against Swarms, and I'm very excited to see that. Number 20 for me, with Idris Virgo. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draw. Idris Virgo is a beast. He fought Anthony Taylor, and Anthony Taylor is a powerful fighter. He is another beast, and there's so many beasts in this game. But Idris Virgo, he is a very tough challenge to people. He won against Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor is now fighting Salt Papi, which is a massive fight. But anyway, Idris Virgo, he is a beast, and I'm very excited to see him back in the ring. Hopefully he's back in the ring very soon. I don't know, but very excited for that. Number 19, we have Elle Brooke. She has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draw. She fought Faith Ordway and won that. I think Elle Brooke is a very tough challenge. She's a very good fighter, and all we need to see, well, she's my favourite female fighter on Misfits. All we need to see is just Elle Brooke versus ASTRID, and I'll be happy for the flyweight or whatever belt they're doing. But Elle Brooke, she's a very good fighter, a great fighter, and very excited to see her in the ring. At the moment, she's doing Kingpin, and she's crushing it over there, and yeah. 18 for me with B-Dave. B-Dave has 1 win, 1 loss, and 0 draw. He fought a mystery opponent, which turned out to be Luis Alcaraz Pineda, and then he fought in the tag team match where Luis Pineda and B-Dave teamed up against Anthony Vargas and Ice Poseidon. I think B-Dave is a very good fighter. He showed heart during his fight, and I'm very excited to see him back in the ring. And he is very good as a comedic relief, definitely. And yeah, B-Dave, a very, very good challenge. And yeah, he got balls to step into the ring with a mystery fighter. So yeah, definitely deserving to be high up for me. 17 for me of Tom Zanetti. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Slim, and yeah, this was a great fight. Tom Zanetti showed so much heart during this fight, and he was a beast. And yeah, I just loved the Slim versus Tom ZANETTI fight. He did so well during this fight, and I'm very excited to see him back, even though at the moment he's fighting in Kingpin, but I'm very excited to see him back in Misfits for some other good fighters, and yeah, a very tough challenge. 16 for me with Luis Alcaraz Pineda. He has 2 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. His opponents have been KSI and lost it. Then he fought B-Dave and won that. And then he won against Anthony Vargas and Ice Poseidon. I think Luis Alcaraz Pineda, after the fight with KSI, is now a very good fighter. Even though everyone was like, oh, he was shit against KSI. And he was. We have to be honest, he was not good against KSI. But KSI is a beast. KSI is, you know, he's a very hard challenge. But Luis Alcaraz Pineda, he is hard. He is so much hard that he even went for that fight. And then he won against B-Dave, which was, I thought B-Dave was going to win that. But when we saw that first couple of punches, I was like, oh my god, Luis Alcaraz Pineda is a different fighter, which is awesome. Number 15 for me, we have Faye Sensei. Now, Faye Sensei has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. And he fought King Kenny. And he, lost that, unfortunately. But it was a decision win to King Kenny. Which, to be honest, I don't think it should have been King Kenny's win. I feel like Faye Sensei won that. Because that first few hits on the first round, he nearly knocked King Kenny out. Faye Sensei is a tough fighter. He's a tough fighter. Definitely one of the best fighters in the game, for me to be genuinely honest with. I really wish he can come back, but who knows when he can. 14 for me, we have FaZe Temper. Now, FaZe Temper, he fought Slim, lost that. Slim had 2 weeks notice and he beat FaZe, so FaZe Temper, so yeah. Then he fought Overflow and won that. And then he fought KSI, which he lost in the first round. But don't worry, does not mean that I don't like FaZe Temper. FaZe Temper is a hard fighter to beat. He is, I don't know if it's because Brazilian fighters are very good. Brazilian and Mexican fighters are very good fighters. Anyway, FaZe Temper, he is a beast. I love FaZe Temper as a fighter. I'm very excited to see him back in the ring. I don't know when that's going to be. I'd love to see it sooner rather than later, because he is a beast and deserving to be, deserving to have a fight in there. Number 13 for me is Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor has 1 win, 1 loss, and 0 draw. He won against Ashley Raksu, and then he lost against Idris VIRGO. And now fighting Sol Papi next month, which is a very hard challenge for both these fighters. Anthony Taylor is a beast. He knocked out Ashley Raksu in the first punch he threw in the first round, which is insane. But Anthony Taylor, he's a beast. I'm very excited to see him back in the ring next month, because he's just funny. He's just awesome to see back in the ring, and he's a fighter for sure. 12 for me, we have JMX. JMX, he has 1 win and 1 loss and 0 draws. He won against Ginty, and then he lost against LEVEON Bell. Now, JMX threw a very good fight against LEVEON Bell, and with Ginty, I knew that he was going to win that fight, because it looked kind of easy, but Ginty didn't knock him over, even though he kind of tripped, but it's counted as a knockover. But that LEVEON Bell fight, that was a tough challenge for JMX, because LEVEON Bell fought Uriah Hall, one of the best fighters, and he went all rounds, but he lost, but he won against JMX, which is very good. Number 11 for me, with Ashley Raksu. He has 1 win, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He lost against Anthony Taylor, and then he won against King Kenny. I think Ashley Raksu is a powerful fighter. He is a fighter that you just don't want to mess with. He is a beast, and I'm very excited to see him back in the ring. He threw so many power shots at King Kenny, and yeah, went all the rounds with King Kenny, all the rounds with Anthony Taylor. He is a beast, and deserving to be high up on this list, and yeah, turning to be one of my favourites. Number 10 for me is Paul Barber. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Chris Avila, and he lost that. But Paul Barber, he is a beast. I think he went all the rounds with Chris Avila. And don't get me wrong, he is a beast and deserving to be high up on this list. Because Chris Avila and all like Nate Diaz and all that, they just non-stop, bam, 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 no stopping. Paul Barber really went well during that fight, and deserving to be high up on this list for me. Number 9 for me, we have Hasim Rahman Jr. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. Hasim Rahman Jr. versus Greg Hardy, he lost that. But the reason why he's up here is because of how much heart he showed during that fight. He fought a 100-pound difference to him. It was 100-pound different, because Greg Hardy was 320 pounds. Hasim was like 220 pounds or something like that. And yeah, he went all the rounds with him. He lost. But Hasim Rahman Jr. is a fighter you don't want to mess with. He is a powerful fighter and one of my favourites. Number 8 for me, we have King Kenny. King Kenny has 2 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws. He fought Face Sensei and won that. Then he fought DK Money, won that. And then he lost against Ashley Raksu. King Kenny is a great fighter. He shows so much heart during his fights, and he is a beast. I'm very excited to see him back on Kingpin, where he's going to fight Wonderson Nunes, who is another beast. And yeah, King Kenny's just non-stop fighting major fighters. Who did he fight? My mate Nate. Yeah, well, my mate Nate, he 3-0 fighter in Thailand. Very good record. King Kenny, he showed so much heart during his fights and definitely one of my favourites. Number 7 for me is Chris Avila. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draws. Chris Avila fought Paul Barber and won that. And Chris Avila is a beast. He just non-stop, just bam, 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 bam with those power shots. And yeah, he just never stops. He's a beast and deserving to be up high on this list because I just love him as a fighter. He is a great fighter and definitely deserving to be high up on this list for me, like I've been saying. And yeah, number 7 for me, Chris Avila has to be up here. 100% for me. But, I mean, yeah, you don't want to mess with people with mushroom ears. What is it called? Mushroom ears or something? Yeah, don't want to mess with those people. Number 6 for me is Waleed Sharks. He has 1 win, 1 loss, 0 draws. He fought Dean the Great, lost that. And then he won against Stamor Mitchell, AA Pup. Waleed Sharks is a great fighter. He is a beast, and I would just please for the love of God, make Dean the Great versus Waleed Sharks too. Just please. I just need that fight. But Waleed Sharks is a beast. He is a great fighter, and I'm very excited to see him back in the ring. I wonder if he's gonna fight. Number 5 for me is Le'Veon Bell. He has 1 win, 0 loss, and 0 draws. He fought JMX. But yeah, Le'Veon Bell fought JMX, and that was a tough fight. Very tough. Definitely, because, I mean, come on. Le'Veon Bell has fought, I forgot, Adrian Peterson or something, on the social gloves, and then he fought Uriah Hall. He has some good fights. For me, Le'Veon Bell is definitely number 5 for me. He is a beast, and yeah, turning out to be one of my favourites in the scene. Number 4 for me is Dean the Great. He has 3 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. He fought Evil Hero for the ICB American welterweight title. He won that, and then he won Waleed Sharks. And then he won against Pulley Arif. So he has had some tough challenges with both Waleed Sharks and Pulley Arif. So yeah, Dean the Great, he is a tough challenge, and yeah, so much power in him, so much power. I'm very excited to see him back in the ring. Number 3 for me is Salt Papi. He has 2 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. The reason why he's this low is probably because of his opponents compared to the other 2. He fought Andy Warski. He won that by 30 seconds of the first round, but the only tough challenge that he's had is Josh Bruckner, which he won that in the second round. But Salt Papi, he is a beast. Don't get me wrong, he is one of the best fighters in the game right now, 100%. And he is 100% deserving to go pro. He is a beast, and yeah, I'm a huge fan of Salt Papi. Very excited for that Salt Papi versus Anthony Taylor, because that fight's going to be insane. I have no idea who's going to win that, because both those guys are power punchers and very good fighters. But yeah, number 3 for me is Salt Papi. And number 2 for me is Slim. He has 3 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. The reason why I think Slim's better than, so not better, but, you know, is higher than Salt Papi is because of his opponents. He fought FaZe Temper, then he fought Ryan Taylor, then fought Tom ZANETTI. 3 powerful fighters. Now, he won all 3 of them because he is a beast, and I do not want to mess with Slim. Slim is from Brooklyn. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, but yeah, Slim is a beast, and I really don't want to mess with that guy. Like, but you know, very excited to see him back on the ring. But number 1 is KSI. He has 3 wins. He won against Swarms, and then, but KSI fought Luis Alcaraz Pineda, then fought FaZe Temper. KSI is number 1 for me, and then he's going to fight a 9-0 professional boxer of Joe Fournier next month. So he's deserving to be high up on the list for me personally. So yeah, I think KSI is number 1. He has power. He has power. Power shots are amazing. He's at probably one of the best gyms. And yeah. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, take care. Peace.